Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. That was kind of fast, but it works.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, thank you.
Friggin' nailed it. Well done, Caitlin.
Thank you.
You got that intro on. I'm sorry. On what? I don't know.
I was going to say on fleek?
Yes, that is exactly. I just
Thank
missed the word. I was going to say on point.
Oh, well.
But that works too. On fleek. I'm not going to say that again.
Okay. Fair enough.
I wish I hadn't said it the first time.
It's almost Thanksgiving.
I know.
It's coming up quick. So,
Kaylin, how is it Thanksgiving next week?
I don't know.
How?
It's like a lot of food, you know?
It's a milestone before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Thanksgiving's done. I've eaten my big meal.
Yeah.
You have big plans for Thanksgiving?
We're going to my parents' house and Nick's and Uncle's house.
2 Thanksgivings.
Yep, 2 in one day, so.
Are you prepared to eat a full meal at each one?
I think so. Yep, I prepared. Maybe a little workout in between.
Oh, that sounds like the worst.
Or a nap.
There
Probably
it is.
a nap.
There it is.
A nap.
Like, change into your pajamas, like some sweatpants for
once I
round
said
2.
workout, I knew that wasn't going to happen, so.
I felt in my heart that wasn't true.
I like to believe it, but it's not. You're
Maybe.
cooking.
I know, I am cooking. We have it down now, though. I have a friend, Jeff, who, of course, was on the podcast. He and I have a list of everything we need to do, and it's on, like, Google Drive, so we just print that out. We each, like, take our part, and we are done in, like, 3 hours.
Dang, man.
We can put a Thanksgiving dinner together in no time.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we kill it. I'm just saying.
You're a seasoned cook at Thanksgiving.
Now we have a big, cool garage kitchen, I
Yeah.
guess. So we're going to try cooking out there.
That'd be great.
So, yeah, should be fun.
Well, what are we drinking, Michelle?
Oh, well, because of Thanksgiving coming up, we're drinking, what do we call these, Caitlin?
Sparkling caramel apple cider.
Ooh, yeah, that is what we call it.
That sounds great.
No, and actually, it turns out these are simple and super delicious. Yeah. And as we are now discovering, wildly dangerous.
I think all our drinks are wildly dangerous.
Yeah, that's probably true. Except for the ones like the butterbeer where you can't even hardly gag them down.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to get into that. But
it's only 2 ingredients, right?
Yeah. So it's caramel apple. Oh my God. Not caramel apple. Caramel vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just put like probably maybe 3/4 of a shot in the bottom of the glass. And the bottom of sort of a champagne glass. We have these really cool like coupe glasses.
Yeah, they're cool.
And then you just fill it with Martinelli's or some, sparkling cider, and it's delicious. And it just has that little flavor of caramel along with the cider, and you can drink the hell out of them.
Yeah,
as
very
it turns
tasty.
out. We're on our 3rd, and I haven't even been here for that long.
It's true, but the glasses are small. So
Thank you, Caitlin. They are a little small.
Point that out. But I think that's a really good Thanksgiving drink because it's simple and easy, and you can make a lot of it with,
Yeah, and it's just, super delicious.
Tasty.
And helps you sort of get into the mood for Thanksgiving.
Dealing with family. I'm just kidding.
Yes, Caitlin. Well put.
All right, well, let's just jump into it.
We gonna kick it?
I think so.
All right.
I'm ready. Have you heard of the recent tragedy at Astroworld concert?
Yes, I did. I've heard of like no news in the world. I'm wildly out of touch with current events, but I have in fact heard about that.
So it was a concert that
got a little bit out of hand, it sounded
pretty much, yes. And 8 people passed away. It turns out though, just the other day, it has gone up to 10 people.
Oh, I had not heard that.
Including a 9-year-old boy.
Oh.
Isn't that terrible?
It is terrible.
Passed away at the hospital. So this made me curious if this has happened before. And it has happened multiple times.
Oh, really?
Yes. One of the significant ones was at a Who concert. 11 people died because of
they were just
crushing.
rocking too hard.
Yeah. Well, at the Astroworld, a lot of people broke through fences. Like, there were too many people at this venue.
Oh.
And people were passing out because they couldn't breathe because people were pushing so much. And then once they passed out, then people were trampling them, and it's just terrible.
Well,
absolutely awful.
I've been to numerous concerts in my life, but not all of them general admission where you're like actually down on the floor. But I remember one in particular. It was this like venue in Portland, and all I remember about it is it had a bouncy floor.
That's a crystal ballroom.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So we were there, and we were hanging out in the front and kind of having a good time, and then the music started, and there was this like whoosh of like all this people just like
trying to get
coming
to the front.
up at you.
I mean, I went there and saw Blue October, and like it was in a mosh pit, okay? And even if there was like a mosh pit, it's like, I don't know, it wasn't like hundreds and thousands of people just trying to push their way to the front. Which why? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You're trying to go there to enjoy the music, especially like we're still in a pandemic, really.
Well, if you're like me, you're gonna be like, I want to get that drummers, or I guess the drummer's like the worst example. I want to get that, lead vocalist like to get eye contact with me, because he's gonna be like, oh my god, I saw you in the crowd, and we're married, or something.
Well, my friend and I, we were at the very top, like the nosebleeds of a Maroon 5 concert, and then went to the bathroom during the
like the break or
the oh my gosh, I don't know. The opening act. Opening act.
In between the opening act and the main.
And then we met with a promoter, and we got to go to the floor, like right where the concert was happening, and we were so close, and I got a pic. I'm just saying, I caught it. But there was no, like, I don't know. It was no pushing. I got a good area.
It wasn't a big deal?
No. It was
I'm surprised to hear that.
No, I was never pushed. I was never, like... I don't know. I mean, these concerts may not be like as hardcore as, these other ones, but maybe it's a little more tame. Maybe I was just holding my drink.
Maroon 5 isn't quite the concert we need to be the example.
Fair enough. Okay. I still have a pick, though. I'm just saying. I got it.
What the hell's his name? Why can't I think of it all of a sudden? The main dude. Adam Levine.
Yeah.
I do like Adam Levine.
This story...
He's got a delightful voice.
All right. So this story is kind of like, because it's still an open investigation happening, so I didn't want to
Yeah, we need to get back down to, like, I feel like I took us off track and kind of got us all, like, cracking up about concerts, and now we need to go back to a tragic one, so I apologize.
Well, it's a Maroon 5 concert, so there's enough to go off of that. But yeah, so they got me thinking about other things that have happened. So I found this story, and this story happens in Cambodia.
Okay.
And the survivor's name is Ung Nget. So Ung is 27 years old, and he's a repairman.
Okay.
And again, we're at the capital of Cambodia, which is Phnom Penh.
Oh.
That's right.
Is
Phnom
it?
Penh, yeah.
Okay.
And it is November 22nd, 2010. It's the Water Festival. It's a 3-day holiday over there. And that's marking the end of the monsoon season. So the rainy season. It's the end of it.
So is this kind of a national holiday, probably?
I mean, I can't say.
I don't know either. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even asked. I don't fucking know.
It is an annual festival that they do every year.
Okay.
And there was actually, this year, there was an estimate of 1.5 to 2 million people to celebrate this event.
That's a lot.
The main attraction is the traditional boat races among the river.
Oh.
So people come to watch. And these are like giant boats with like 80 people on them. Like
wow.
It's really a big thing. So the races pretty much go all day, and the last race was ending in the evening around 10 p.m. at night.
Wow.
And then there was going to be a free concert on the Diamond Island. So there was like the mainland, there was like this bridge, and there was like this little, like an island-esque area where there's going to be a concert.
There's going to be a stage out there or some such thing.
So of course, with all those people, they want to go do this concert.
You're freaking high on boat races. I get it.
There's about 7,000 to 8,000 people on this 50-meter narrow bridge. It was a smaller bridge. I mean...
That doesn't feel safe.
No. So it was extremely crowded.
Oh, my God.
People...
Do you think it was, like, just swaying or...
Well,
okay.
People started having issues breathing of how tight it was so together
like
everyone was.
Together.
People started to pass out because they were squeezed so much that they couldn't get any breath.
Gosh. They were probably stuck upright still, though.
And then the bridge started to sway.
Oh, well, God. That's so scary.
With that bridge starting to sway, people started to panic. And then some people were yelling that it was going to collapse. And that just started a whole
Even more
panic.
panic.
Absolutely. Now a stampede of people are trying to get off this bridge. So they're trying to get off on both sides, of course.
Oh, my God.
But there are people pushing and climbing on top of each other. So they're pushing... trying to get this way. Some people are trying to push the other way.
This is making me stressed out. All I can think of is like Indiana Jones, like bridge or something like that, where he's trying to pass over some giant crevasse.
It was. I mean, it wasn't that type of bridge, but it was a bridge. I mean,
it still wasn't great if it's swaying as badly as. Well,
yeah.
I don't know. What do I know about bridges? Okay, sorry.
And one report said that the pile was 5 people high, just totally
crushed
into people. People were getting desperate and started to jump off the bridge into the shallow water to escape being crushed.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, totally.
The water was only like
waist
deep. So it.
So people aren't landing very gracefully.
No.
Is maybe what you're saying.
Correct. So this one survivor named Cho Vandith, she was 21 years old and a student teacher. And she states many people were trying to move, but they couldn't. There was no air. I felt myself standing on other people. So since they were like 5 people high, people are standing on top of each other on the bottom.
Oh my gosh, which must make breathing even
exactly
crazier.
You have all these people standing on you. You can't move. So she's like, I can't.
This is an outdoor event,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
God, it's crazy to think that you could run out of air just out of doors.
Oh,
do you know?
Right? Yeah, that's true. So it seemed that both sides of the bridge, people were pushing, and that added panic and got out of hand. People tried to climb up the bridge, and they ended up pulling down electrical wires, which were now fallen down, and
just live wires just hanging out all over the place.
It was now electrocuting people.
Oh my God. This is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. This would be a fun festival, but it's turning into something terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people are now dying from being crushed, suffocated, and now electrocuted.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So Ung was in the midst of the stampede and was tangled among the bodies of those who had passed. He was...
I seriously am like having a little bit of a hard time breathing.
He was covered in blisters and now unable to breathe. He recalls feeling panic, terror, and then hopelessness.
What is the blisters from?
Rubbing up against people, probably.
Oh my gosh. That is intense.
Yeah.
Like, that is pure craziness.
He said he remembered calling for help from his deceased grandfather. He felt his spirit come to him, and Ung was able to jump into the water, injuring his legs, but was taken to the hospital right after.
Well, a broken leg is better than being dead.
Exactly.
You know?
So there was a total of 347 people that passed away that day.
That's so many people.
People were wedged for hours among the dead, asking for water as they waited to be unstuck. So
I can't even fathom
how stuck these people were. Like, well, I mean, 7,000 to 8,000 people on a little bridge.
Yeah. It's hard to even imagine how this would come to be.
Yeah, it was insane. Could you imagine being stuck, wedged between people who passed away? You can't get out, and you're like, oh, how terrifying.
Yeah.
I do want to note that the government disputed the claims of the electric shock, but doctors treating patients said that electrocution, suffocation, internal bleeding, and drowning were the main causes.
Drowning too? So
Well,
they fell and...
Yeah. Well, they think that some people died and fell off, and then...
or maybe passed out and fell
off, drowned, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Or maybe knocked themselves out trying to...
Get out.
If they dove or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, Paul, an Australian firefighter working with the Cambodian Emergency Services, said it took him about 35 minutes to work his way through the crowd on the bridge. So, unsticking people, getting them out. He states it's fairly confronting to see 300 plus casualties in an area less than 100 square meters.
Oh.
Once the bridge was clear, there were piles of shoes and clothing just... You couldn't see the floor. It was just piles of shoes.
That's heartbreaking. I mean, you would think like a tsunami came or something.
Yeah.
Not just happy people trying to go to a concert.
Exactly, right?
Ugh.
It's crazy how something so I'm going to this festival.
It's going to be
so
fun.
Turned to something so deadly.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The next morning, distraught families were searching through rows of numbered dead laid out in tents in the city's hospitals.
Oh, God.
There's also a board of photos of all the deceased so people can try to find their loved ones.
Ugh. Yuck.
Hun Sen, the prime minister, declared a day of national mourning for that Thursday. November 10th, 2011, so we're now a year.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Just about.
To the day of the tragedy, Ung shares his story. He states, images of the stampede are racing through my mind. I'm still afraid of crowded places. I want to try to force myself to walk across that bridge, but I cannot. I cannot push away the images of the dead and injured. People all around me.
Oh, God.
I can still hear them. When I dream, the dead people are calling me to go with them. I try to hit them until I wake up. Even when I am talking to you about this now, I feel goosebumps. I will not go... Well, to this year's event. He didn't say that, but yeah. And told my brother not to go.
He's done with this festival.
Absolutely.
I would be as well.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm. So now it's been 3 years since the incident. So it's now 2013. And Ung states, until only recently, I was dreaming about it almost every night. I don't dream about it now, but I can't forget it.
Oh my gosh.
So he got some improvement, I guess.
But just not a lot of peace around
Not a lot
it.
of peace. But, I mean, Ung, along with other survivors, friends, and family, they all joined together in a memorial service each year. So,
that's good.
Instead of running from it, he's not embracing it, but he's remembering those who passed that event. And I think that having people go through the same thing, I think it's good to have that support also, because they understand what he's feeling.
Well, there's an intimacy
Right.
that I think can't be built in any other way.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately.
Yeah. So no one was held accountable for what has happened, like the government, It was...
We shouldn't have popped a guard at the front being like... 5 people.
Well, they call the tragedy unexpected and an accident.
But
there's a lot of people that are saying that, like law enforcement, because I guess there was another way onto the island, but they closed that off just to have that one area to go through. And of course, with that many people attending the festival, it just wasn't realistic, I guess.
I want to know what band they were going to see.
Yeah, right.
I hope they were awesome.
I just think I've been to a lot of concerts. Again, I've been to, okay. Sorry. I've been
heading down a road that maybe you shouldn't.
No.
Perhaps.
I've been I've been to Poison and Def Leppard. I mean, they're 80. I mean, it's older. Not people are going to be mosh pitting there, you know?
I'm trying to think of the hardest concert I've ever been to, and there's just not a lot.
Yeah, I guess I haven't been to a hard concert, which
I just don't enjoy that type of music.
Yeah, maybe just that scene too. I think I got up front at a Paramore concert once, and there was some pushing there. There were some choice words said.
They were all mean and hurtful.
But I never felt endangered, I guess. So it's... Well, even with Black Friday, with Thanksgiving coming up, people have passed away from people stampeding over them just to get the best deals. Like, it's crazy.
I know. I can't even with Black Friday anymore.
No.
I'm done with the whole thing. Pretty much as soon as they started opening on Thanksgiving, I was out.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, that's too much. There's something to be said about having to get up early and the store opens at like 4 a.m. or something. That's kind of fun, but... Yeah. When you're just rolling out as soon as you've eaten dinner, forget it.
Well, also people just fighting each other to get, you know, a TV.
Like $20 off of a PlayStation. Come on, guys.
It's insane. I've seen so many videos. And I'm like, I just can't do it. Yeah. I can't do it. So
it just does not seem worth it to me.
No.
Maybe I just don't love my family enough.
Well, I mean, like, when it's Black Friday shopping, you kind of expect that kind of behavior. But when you're going to a festival, you're just excited to be there, you know?
Yeah.
To celebrate with everyone. But then
tragedy completely strikes.
Yeah. I mean, it just takes one comment to kind of set
everyone on edge.
Yeah. Well, especially because, you know, a bridge is collapsing. Yeah, I want to get off of this bridge, you know?
Yeah.
So
when you're already feeling crushed, you're already probably on the verge of panic.
Yeah.
And then you hear something like that and start feeling the bridges swaying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to do everything you can to get
off
of it.
Well, it's so crazy, like, how easy it is for you not to be able to breathe with that pressure on you. I mean...
I know. That is, like, partly one of the most surprising things of the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just people suffocated.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Super sad. So...
Well, thanks for that story, Caitlin.
I know, I'm sorry. But Ung did... He was on the brink of death. Like, he was, like, calling out to his dead grandfather. Like, he was... He was about done, but he was able to, you know, jump off, which I probably would try to do too, honestly.
Yeah, but well, especially if there's a little bit of water.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, also being electrocuted, like, oh my gosh. Like, that's just an added thing to be afraid of.
That does make the water a little more scary. That's true.
But no, it was too far below.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he injured his legs, because the water wasn't that high and it was kind of high up. Mm. So.
All right. Point well made, Caitlin. Thank you.
Just saying. But everyone, go to concerts and enjoy yourself. But just be careful.
Don't engage in the mosh pits.
And don't be an asshole and push people. Like, what?
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have tickets to the concert. Fucking go home. Like,
Caitlin's done.
You don't pay the money, you don't get to go.
Gosh, I did not realize you were so passionate about concerts.
If people are like breaking down like barriers to get inside and they haven't paid and they're not supposed to be there, then what was the point of me, you know, paying and getting my spot?
$1 bazillion,
exactly,
whatever it costs now.
Yeah. Plus, we're in a pandemic. Just fucking don't be in a group, okay?
I just don't like, you gotta wear well, never mind, I'm just not gonna get into it. I apologize.
What?
Oh, I just don't like having to wear my mask inside. Or like, we got tickets to an outdoor concert and we were gonna have to wear the mask the whole time, and it was like, no, the thing is, like, going.
If there is distance, I think that's fine, especially with the vaccinations. I think things are gonna start getting back to normal for sure. But it's like, when you have, I mean, I guess this wasn't during COVID, but if there was like, well, at the Astro World, you know, people were just crammed in there,
it's and such a small area.
Yeah, and I just would not feel comfortable. I don't like people breathing on me. I guess that's what it comes down to. I'm sorry.
And now
everyone.
We've gotten to the core of it. We got
to the core. Give me my space. Don't breathe on me.
Don't shut me into an elevator, and we'll be all good.
Gosh. Yeah, please don't do that. Or just be careful. Just be safe. Just give people space.
Well said, Caitlin.
Is it well said? I don't know.
You're like, nah.
It's not.
All right,
Michelle, it's your turn.
Should we jump in? Okay. So I'm taking us back to 1992.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this actually takes place in Hawaii, which is where I wish I was right now.
I know, right? Seriously. My friends are there, Tony and Jesse.
What?
Yeah, jerks.
I want to be there. They are jerks.
They listen, so.
Yeah, tell them I said it.
No, they'll hear it.
Jerks. All right. So this story is about Craig Hosking. And actually, I probably said that wrong, but we're moving on. Craig. There's going to be a couple other fellows that join us in this survival story, I guess would be a good way to put it. But we're going to focus on Craig for a little while.
I like it.
So Craig is a Hollywood camera pilot.
Oh,
So,
fancy.
Yeah, he takes a lot of the action shots.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's like he's done action shots for James Bond movies, for Batman movies. I mean, back in 1992, so I guess it was really probably only the Batman movie. And Indiana Jones and everything. So, i.e., he was living his dream job.
Yeah.
Like, that was what was going on for him. So he was passionate about flying and photography, and he had been flying and licensed to fly since he was 16-year-old. Oh my God. Licensed to fly since he was 16 years old. So in this particular case, in 1992, he was hired to fly Mike Benson and camera technician Christopher Duddy around.
Okay.
And what they were supposed to do is they needed a scene of boiling lava for this movie that they were working on called Sliver, which I feel like
Sliver or
Yeah.
Slither?
Sliver.
Okay. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen it. I don't know if the movie ever actually got made or if I'm just a crazy person, but
Maybe a little bit.
and
Well,
yeah, all of those things. And so they ended up going to this one specific volcano because it was like super active.
Okay.
So they knew they could probably get, the footage
shots.
the good shots that they were looking for. So they were off to Kilauea to get these amazing film shots. They spent a whole Saturday recording shots from this volcano, I guess. So they were recording this like large plume of smoke that was coming up, and they were like near this vent called Pua U O. I'm sorry.
hey, you're trying. You're
I'm trying. I promise I'm not trying to be disrespectful
Yeah.
at anything. But I guess inside this volcano, there was this pool of sort of glowing lava, and they're like, we obviously have to get a good shot of that. And it turns out it's like 100 feet down inside this crater. And then inside there's like essentially an island with some lava around it.
Interesting.
And so Craig flew the camera crew down into the volcano. He flew him down into this very deep crater. And so what he would do is he would sort of fly into the crater. They would get some footage. He would fly out. He would fly back in, get more footage. And so on the third pass, kind of going down into the crater, they seemed to lose power. Like all of a sudden they were having all these issues with their helicopter. So there was warning lights flashing, and the malfunction sort of came on so suddenly that the three men were sort of instantly plunged down. So the helicopter kind of dropped even more.
Oh my gosh.
And they were plunged into a huge cloud of smoke and steam.
Oh my gosh.
So, because I mean, the lava is putting off all kinds of stuff. They realized, like, Craig sort of got him up and out a little bit, and the sort of fog cleared a little bit. And what he realized is that he had no choice to land the helicopter. He was never going to make it up and out of the crater again.
Oh,
so he had to go down into the volcano instead and aim for that little island that
Oh my gosh.
we talked about. So pretty much he had like seconds to act before the helicopter started this massive crash landing. He went down and he couldn't land like too close to the lava because he would have even more problems with his helicopter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess it was very steep. And so he kind of had to go around, and then they ended up in the center of the crater on that little tiny island. So he was like,
wow, so he got right to the center. Like,
yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So unfortunately, on his way down, because the helicopter was going down pretty quickly,
Yeah.
one of the main rotors on the top, the going around, actually struck the side of the crater, and it broke free of the fuselage. So it's like there was no way they could fly the helicopter out, I guess is my point. They were completely stranded inside there.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So they get out of the helicopter. They're like, oh my God, they're all dazed and in shock, and they're looking at their poor rumpled heap of a helicopter hanging out. And they were just,
we're in a volcano.
what are we supposed to do now? I guess the air was just super thick with noxious fumes.
Yeah.
And so there was like they were choking on the poisonous fumes, and the sound of the rocks, the molten rock bubbling up, added to this like.
Plus, it's super hot, right?
Yeah, it's hot. You got this terrible smell that is probably poisoning you.
Oh my gosh.
And then the sound of the lava just kind of sounding like it was coming up at you like all the time.
Oh my
They said it was it sounded a little bit like the ocean.
Oh.
You know, because it was sort of lapping the sides of the sides of this little island that they're on. They realized that almost immediately that these gases were extremely dangerous. The gases included hydrogen sulfide, which is poisonous, highly corrosive, flammable, and explosive. So just everything you want to see in your breathing air.
Yeah.
And then there was a toxic irritant called sulfur dioxide. And so even though their skin and things were starting to get irritated from just being down there. And so at this point, there's no sign or hope of a rescue party. I mean, they've crashed. They have no way of calling help.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh my God.
Like,
did they tell anyone where they were?
well, I'm sure they did.
Right.
So probably help would have come eventually.
But their time is short.
Yeah, and whether they would have looked inside of a volcano.
Right.
Like,
fair enough. Yeah.
maybe
That's
not.
the last place.
They kind of all decided to sort of go separate ways at this point.
Okay.
So Craig decided that he wanted to stay with the helicopter, that he wanted to try to fix the helicopter enough to be able to call for help. Whereas Mike and Christopher decided that they were going to try to climb out of the crater.
Oh, wow.
So Craig stayed behind.
Okay.
And,
You tell.
And so, yeah, Caitlin, I'll tell you in a minute.
Now you know how it feels, Michelle.
I know. God. If only that wasn't so true. So Mike and Christopher did not have a lot of climbing experience or anything.
Yeah.
And what they found was that it was completely the most nerve-wracking experience ever. So I guess the crater walls are super crumbly. And if they made any kind of wrong move as they were trying to ascend up the volcano walls, it would like almost start a landslide. So if they just stepped slightly wrong, all this like rock and
just
crater wall would just come careening down. And so they had to go super slowly and super carefully to sort of make their way up the crater.
Wow.
And so, but unfortunately, they became separated like pretty quickly.
Oh.
And so they ended up sort of both climbing in different directions. I think they were probably just had their head down, were trying to climb carefully, and just ended up sort of accidentally going different ways. They ended up not even making it quite to the top of the crater rim. So they ended up getting separated about 60 feet below the top of it.
Okay.
And pretty much just had to kind of take a break for a little while.
So there's like a platform that they sat at?
I think it's just kind of the side of a hill
I see.
you know, probably a pretty steep hill.
Mm-hmm.
So Craig down below was actually having better luck than Christopher and Mike were trying to get their way out.
Really?
So yeah, he was working in choking air, and he had several setbacks, but eventually he was able to fix the helicopter's emergency radio.
Oh, okay.
And he summoned help.
Yay!
Actually, a courageous local pilot actually went down and was able to get a helicopter down into the crater, and Craig was able to get aboard, and up they went.
Oh my gosh!
So, I know, it's like
one? Okay.
But as it turns out, trying to rescue the other two men was going to be far more challenging because
they are on the side of the
exactly, and in two different places. So they just went down, got Craig, plucked him out, and off they went. So Mike decided he was done climbing. He's going to sit tight. That was probably going to be his best option for being rescued. So he sat there, and that was his strategy for getting out of there.
Okay.
The air was cleaner where he was, so he was
right,
actually...
that's what I was thinking. The higher he went, easier to breathe.
That's exactly. He ended up being able to breathe a little bit better, but he just felt like trying to continue to climb was just going to be too dangerous. It was just so precarious, and things were ready to fall at any moment.
Ugh.
And so Christopher, far away from Mike at this point, he decided to just keep on going.
Okay.
He's like, nope, I got to keep going. He figured if he stopped at any time that he would probably end up dying.
Oh.
So he was just like, he just plugged ahead and just kept on going. So he just opted to keep on struggling towards the rim of the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
At one point during his super slow ascent, he had a terrible shock. This man-sized object suddenly appeared through the cloud of gas and just, it looked like this giant sort of body falling out of the sky.
Oh.
And he was just like, what the hell? Oh my God, it's Mike. Ah. He didn't stay put. He's falling to his death. But what it ended up being was more of the signs of a rescue attempt were on the way. It was like survival gear that they threw into the volcano to
oh my gosh,
help him out.
That would have scared him, like, to jump back and then fall.
Yeah, and it was like, it looked like a
body
in a duffel bag.
Oh my gosh.
Like that. But unfortunately, he couldn't do anything with it. Aww. He was still on the side of the volcano and, was probably not going to try to go back down.
Oh.
So yeah, it ended up getting thrown over the ridge that it would land close to the men, but it was too far away. Because as I said, they've been climbing for a while now. But now poor Christopher is totally like unsettled and in shock on the side of this volcano. Because he just thought he saw his friend just careen down, and he didn't realize at the time that it was a pack of survival gear.
So he was taken aback for...
Yeah, he was for a little while. So he eventually reached the rim of the volcano. It was 2:30 the following afternoon. So they had spent the night, and so...
Well, I'm surprised he survived with breathing all that toxic air.
I think if Craig down below had stayed, he probably would have died.
Right.
Because at this point, Christopher is coughing and wheezing from the effects of the gas. Ugh. But he was feeling like, I'm at the top, at least I'm safe. Poor Mike, more than 24 hours into this whole ordeal, is still sitting tight at his spot halfway up. We're about 60 feet from the top of the volcano. Having lost contact with the other two, he just figured he was probably the only one alive at this point. He was super anxious about being rescued, and just the thought of his other
survivors killed.
Yeah, like if he was the only one, he just figured he was probably not getting rescued.
I see.
Forget it. So he tried to take his mind off of his fears as he's sitting there, using little tricks. He was reciting the alphabet backwards and, just like little mind tricks. He had no food, and he hadn't eaten for many, many days, or not many, many days, many, many hours at this point. But to drink, he pretty much like cupped his water and just held his hands out for the rain to come down. And he caught like a little bit of rainwater and drank that. He thought at one point, he was clearly starting to hallucinate at this point, probably from all the gases and things.
Right.
So at one point, he thought that the figure of, I think it's Pele, I want to say. Pele? It's probably... They're like, no, it's not that at all. Hawaii's spiteful goddess of volcanoes had come to him and was reaching out to him from across the crater. But fortunately, he had a little bit of fight left in him, and he's like, you're not getting me today. And he got to his feet and screamed for her to leave him alone. And then he kind of came to and was like, oh, shoot, I better figure something out. So now Monday morning. This started on Saturday. We're now Monday morning. Mike is still trapped. So Craig's made it out. Christopher's made it to the top of the volcano. He's out.
Oh my gosh.
So now Mike, he's the only one left in.
No.
So he sees that they're like the haze and the smoke sort of clear momentarily. And as the smoke clears, he sees a pilot of another helicopter trying to find him. And so the helicopter was actually able to spot Mike at that same time as well.
So lucky.
Yeah, they're like, ding, 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 we got him, we got him. And then, like, the smoke just comes back and, like, completely obscures his vision again. And he probably was like, I didn't actually. It was all a dream. There's no
Aw.
helicopter there. But then he realized that, in fact, a rescue team was on his way. So the helicopter tried to come down to get him. And it was too steep, or they just they came down once, tried, couldn't get into the right position, had to go back up. They came back down again, tried again, still couldn't do it. So what they ended up doing is throwing down, what do they call it? It was just a cable with a net on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So he was able to sort of crawl into the net, and then they were able to lift him up and out. So he was airlifted out of the volcano.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's so long.
yeah, no, that's 2 days of just sitting there.
You're told if you're lost,
Stay
still. Yeah, stay put. But everyone else got rescued.
I know, poor guy. If he had stayed down at the bottom,
Right,
they
he
all
probably
would have been
died.
rescued in
Oh, that's right. No, that's right. They all would have been rescued.
the first day.
Right.
And but it took almost 2 full days for him to get rescued.
I mean, it makes sense though. Higher ground, better air. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think if
Yeah.
Craig had stayed down there any longer, he was probably inside the helicopter,
Right.
maybe with the doors closed, and was able to have a little bit better air quality, but maybe not. I don't know.
My gosh.
So he was airborne and on his way to the hospital.
Yay.
So for nearly a week, he was still coughing.
I bet.
But he was so relieved to find out that the other 2 men had made it
right,
out.
because he thought he was the only one.
Yeah,
Oh.
he said he found out that they had only suffered a couple of minor cuts and bruises. And they all felt super lucky having come out of something like this. Because a
Yeah.
crash like that, normally you're not just coming out with a couple of cuts and bruises.
Right,
And
absolutely.
especially crash landing at the bottom of a
active
volcano.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god. So, and that's what they said. After coming down inside of an active volcano is nothing short of amazing.
Absolutely.
So,
Good thing with Craig, he landed it perfectly. He
I
did not
know,
land
he
in the
saved
lava, and
he's like that, the oh my god, I'm sorry. Too many apple ciders. The pilot who landed on the river, the Hudson River. Why can't I think of his name all of a sudden?
Captain.
You know it. That one. That's
Yeah.
correct.
What is his name? Starts with an S.
I know. Now I gotta F and look it up. Oh, I just had it too. It's just like a flash.
Squab. I don't know.
Something like that.
It's
okay.
something. Scully.
Oh.
It was
Sully.
Sully!
You were
Oh,
super close. Captain Sullenberger.
Wow.
Sully. Good job, Caitlin. You
I
nailed
tried.
it.
Well, I didn't get it right, but it was
Well,
close.
you were closer
We
than I
haven't talked
was.
about that story. Maybe we should.
Indeed, I actually almost did it one time.
Oh, really?
And I was like, everyone knows that.
That's true. And
So
then
I-
it'd be like,
ooh.
oh, my third plane crash story in a row.
No, I was like, this is a helicopter crash. It's not a plane crash.
No, fair enough.
Because
fair
I did
enough.
find another plane crash. And I was like,
Oh.
Caitlin will kill me. I can't do it.
No, you.
There was another
You
one. It
can.
was like a shipwrecked one. And I was like, I've done a lot of lost at sea ones. You can't do that. And
You are the co-host, Michelle. You can
I can tell whatever story I want.
Yes.
Now I'm afraid I'm going to start repeating stuff. Because I'll read a story and be like, oh, that sounds familiar. Did Caitlin tell that story?
You just have to look back.
Yeah.
I mean, I started an
Out of
Excel
all
sheet.
bazillion episodes, there's
I
over
know.
80 now, Caitlin.
I know.
Ugh.
I know. You'll start telling your story, be like, Michelle, this story has already been told.
I am totally worried about that.
You can always text me and ask.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, if you're... Because I can easily just look it up, so...
Well, thank you,
You're
Caitlin.
welcome.
Next
You're
time.
welcome. All right. Well, we hope you will have a nice Thanksgiving with your
Indeed.
family.
We got to wrap this up
friends.
because I got DoorDash coming to my house.
I know. I have Uber Eats coming.
Happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye.
So,
Just kidding.
please enjoy these drinks. Like I said, 2 ingredients, super easy, super tasty.
Yeah,
and,
if you need a little kick this Thanksgiving, a little
Yeah.
something to help you through the holidays,
absolutely.
this is going to do it for you.
Boom.
Am I going to be hungover tomorrow? Most likely. Is it worth it?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a work night too,
I
so.
know. I gotta be up at fucking 5:30.
Ugh. All right. Well, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time. And it's almost Christmas, so.
Eat lots, have fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye.